Starting off with the Paloma Medical Center West in Escondido, this state's study case influenced me with the use of their design for healing. They've used a lot of natural lighting, connection with nature, and reduce of noise. Here you'll see like an example of their healing garden and the use of their acoustics to reduce stress and more harm. They used the code for medical offices, which is the occupancy type B. And I will also use the same type of code for my design. Here we go into the color psychology for healing, which it does affect a lot of people, even though it doesn't say any words, but it does make people feel and do things. So here we go into the type of colors that I will be emphasizing in my design: green, red, yellow, and violet, or purple in some cases. So green, you'll see it, and it makes everybody remembers about the environment. It gives relaxation, balance, and revitalize. For red, I want to pick out energy, passion, create urgency. Yellow, which is my favorite, stimulates, creates creativity as well. For violet, remember humanitarian, encourage creativity as well, and it's compassion color. So my space for planning the medical offices was inspired by my location. I found a medical office there where they use most of their spaces along the walls, and they used a bigger area for their entrance. Here you'll see a little bit of information about my location, which is the Allegheny Indian Reservation near Salamance, New York. The population is over 8,000 people, and the community is very cultural, with keeping their ancestors alive. Traditionally, American Indians, they use earthly colors, earthly materials, and they have influences from there. So everything is just nature, basically, in their community. So my design concept goes along with that, inspired by the idea of keeping the culture in my design, and pursuing a healthcare view of how to keep people out of the hospital, out of being sick. So this is why I implemented the big culture thing, and going along with helping these people with understanding where they are, and using color-coded areas to help with wayfinding. Here I have my criteria matrix. You see all the rooms here that the client needs, and the square footage. I use these two because these are the ones that I referenced to my design. Here are the reds where there will be connecting. As you can notice, the colors that are mostly with the spaces that you'll see connected. Here are just my first ideas of my design, where I wanted to implement, again, green door, natural lighting. Here, this floor plan was inspired to just give easy access for any emergencies, to different exits, access to resources, which is the reception, and easy to locate everything. Here is my floor plan with this one idea, again, having everything along the walls, and have like easy access for exiting, and for the first floor. For the second floor, I use the same concept, having this area for waiting area and patients that are waiting to get seen. For the furniture plan, you see that all the spaces are being used with each item. You also see the green garden that I implemented. This is the second floor, big area here. Reception is in the middle, and the security guard that I established in the design concept. Here's my second and revised floor plans with furniture, leading with the 2 ways to exit and have people have opportunities if they're on this side of the area or this side. Also for the second floor, and here you'll have actually a little bit of a kind of like a lounge area for that use. Some of my sketches, again, complying with ADA staff restroom, ADA compliance, the waiting area with all these textures, and the green room. The green garden is with these fun different types of plants. Going more into depth with the sketches, you have a green plant, green plants on the back, and a rug area. A lot of textures here. For the staff restroom, you have this little fancy mirror that I really love, that I've seen is so trending. The bathroom, the sink area, anybody with the wheelchair is able to slide in to use this sink and the ramp. Again, the green garden is all these different types of plants that I wanted to play with in these base. Here are some lighting in the green garden, type of lighting to use. And here in the reception area, you have a green plant, some fun ideas, texture, and shapes. Going into the exam room, the furniture and materials and finishes selections, we start with the exam room, selected by the Herman Miller Healthcare Furniture line. And again, just to remind you, I'll be using a lot of the purples and the greens and the reds for these places. Here you have surfaces, laminated, solid laminate, wall paints. Here are some description of the furniture items, like the recliner Ava. Very comfortable when seating for a long stretch. The exam room, you have the standing X-ray machine and some systems for the clinical area, and the laying table for the exam room. Here you'll see kind of fun green and gray for the walls and the flooring, which most of these reduce risk of injury from slips and falls, infection control, and water imperviousness for easy cleanup. Here in the community room, you'll see Herman Miller team furnitures, which helps with anybody that's in there in collective furniture for the community room. The greens, again, wood. You won't see the whole flooring wood, because we'll have some carpet with the area, and along the sides wood. Here's the wall paint and the glass whiteboard used in community rooms where there's collaboration going on. The MD office, here's the private office furniture system with Herman Miller, flooring, and some wall paint and surfaces. There's that red that I wanted to use in these offices, mostly because, again, it triggers passion and the other energy and urgency. So that's fun to have in an environment like that. The break room, of course, green and white, and because you want to be relaxed and you want to feel a balance when you're taking a break. For the business office, I wanted to play a lot more with. There was more space, so you'll have the lounge area and the private office system furniture, again with Herman Miller. I'll be using the same type of color wall paints and flooring for them. The nurse's station, here I used purple, again humanitarian, just to remind you a little bit details of that color. And the workstation from Herman Miller, where you can sit or stand while working on the computers. This is their chair that they use there as well. Very, very great for any long durations of sitting. And for the reception area, you have Ethos Space Caregiver Station, where they have access to a lot of storage there, computers, and just a very good system to have as a reception. I'll have the multiple seating type of chairs in the waiting area. And here are again green colors to use in this area. So the cabinets being used in these areas, you'll have the laminate healthcare systems in the exam rooms and such, and the healthcare casework where nurses and practitioners are able to come in and out and use a lot of these storages. These systems, these cabinets add a lot of protection and layers. It's Microbe Shield, which is antimicrobial program that they have, very good use for healthcare. So here are my acoustics and wayfinding. Just to go a little bit over very quickly, everything is going to be very organized with the ledger of each space color coded, and the flooring indicating where you need to direct yourself. And here's the second floor. For the fire code and the accessibility, you have these combinations: the alarm station, the fire extinguisher, the exit, and the sprinklers. Here you'll see a lot of their use in the spaces. More ADA requirements. For each building, you must have this ADA appliances for it's universal. My sketches here, you'll see 3 combinations in the hallways. The green garden, you'll see the sprinklers and the lighting used for emergencies and more sprinkler coverage. For this, the lighting plan, you'll see a lot of the areas having recessed lighting and fluorescent lighting. I have a ledger here for indicating what each item is. More about lighting, I did a rendering with fluorescence and the use of uplight in the reception areas, in the green garden, and ambience and fluorescent in the exam rooms. Here are my specs for the lighting. This also will have lighting in the dark, the fluorescent lighting bulbs, and the casing. Here are my justifications for design concept, color solution, design elements, and principles, space planning, cultural influences, design precedents, and such. And here's my reflection. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to my presentation, and I hope you guys have a great spring break. Thank you again. Bye.